Coming up on AgweekTV,
some big changes in the school lunch program, which brings smiles to many dairy farmers' faces.
I'm Mikkel Pates. I talked to one of the men that's building a new farm in the wake of the big MCM bankruptcy.
In the Soil Health Minute, we'll talk about using a cereal rye cover crop to manage moisture in the spring.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Rose Dunn in for Shauna Olson. A major farm bankruptcy earlier this spring sent shockwaves through the ag community. Ron McMartin farmed nearly 40,000 acres in the northeast corner of North Dakota, but he filed for bankruptcy in February. Now some major landowners are taking over about half the acres in the McMartin operation. And as Mikkel Pates reports, the Johnson family of Walhalla, North Dakota got the deal together in time for spring planting.
Kenny Johnson says it took a lot of people to put Elkhorn Farms together in a very short period of time.
It didn't really get sprung on us till early 17, so it was kind of a situation where, like, wow, there's a lot of land here that needs a home.
Kenny Johnson is part of a big farming family from Walhalla. He left North Dakota in the mid-'80s to work at the Chicago Board of Trade for 20 years. All that time he kept buying farmland all over the country. He leased a big part of it in Northeast North Dakota to Ron McMartin. Now, in the wake of McMartin's big bankruptcy, he has much of it back.
It's Johnson's farm and Johnson land, and it was an opportunity. We took it.
Johnson knew McMartin was struggling. He'd missed some of his land payments to him last year, but Kenny and his family say they had no idea how bad it was. McMartin filed bankruptcy earlier this spring, and the Johnsons had to decide what to do, quickly.
Really, until 2017, I didn't really know how it was going to work out. I just assumed, things would work out with Ron and payments would be made, and I assumed Ron would be farming again.
He considered finding other renters, but ultimately decided the family would run it. That was only possible with the help of his extended family. His cousin Brian Johnson is CEO of Choice Financial in Grand Forks and helped put the deal together along with Ag Country Farm Credit Services.
The people behind the scenes of this thing have been unbelievable, really. It couldn't be possible without them, especially in a time frame, There wasn't much time, and, it got put together, so it's pretty impressive.
Once they decided what to do this spring, they had to make some major purchases, including 16 tractors and several trucks.
We kind of saw it as an opportunity to get in. A lot of people probably say it maybe not a great time to get in, but we saw, there's some opportunity to get in as far as equipment, pricing, it's kind of soft on some of this stuff right now.
Despite the problems, McMartin initially agreed to work for Johnson and Elkhorn Farms, but that agreement ended in late April.
Ron ran a mega farm, so really in Elkhorn Farms as an employee, it probably isn't the right fit.
Still, Johnson has nothing but praise for Ron McMartin.
For 20 years, Ron's been a great business partner to a lot of businesses in the valley. I mean, I know things didn't go well and it didn't work out, but for many, many years, a lot of business relationships did really well with Ron McMartin in the valley. I consider him a good friend, Ron.
Amazingly, a farm that didn't technically exist in February will have planted 20,000 acres before the spring is out. For AgweekTV, this is Mikkel Pates at Grand Forks.
Johnson says this year they're growing soybeans, wheat, and potatoes. Shauna Olson is on assignment in Washington, D.C. She's there with the National Association of Farm Broadcasters for Washington Watch. Shauna?
Rose, it's an exciting time to be in Washington, D.C. at our nation's capital. Well, many lawmakers are assuming their new positions, including many within the USDA. As you can see behind me, we're standing in front of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, where we just got done with a great discussion with the new U.S. Secretary of Ag, Sonny Perdue. We also caught up with Robert Johansson, the chief economist, and Seth Meyer, World Agricultural Outlook Board chairman. We also had a chance to catch up with some of the top leaders in corn, soy, wheat, and dairy and talk to them about the new Trump administration. There's a lot of optimism here in Washington.
The U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue, is moving to make school meals great again. The USDA will give schools more flexibility in meal programs in order to make food choices both healthy and appealing to students. Perdue signed a proclamation this week which begins the process of restoring local control of guidelines on whole grains, sodium, and milk.
Those dietitians and food service professionals in our schools, they have a pretty good idea. They're professionals about preparing nutritious meals. They were having difficulty finding whole grain pasta that was really workable or palatable in those schools. And when they saw those kids kind of taking a tray and going and dumping it in the trash can and then leaving school and going by a fast food or convenience store and picking up all those kind of things and that are not healthy, then that was a pretty easy call.
The plan will reinstate 1% low-fat flavored milk in the school lunch line, which has been absent since 2011. Chris Galen with the National Milk Producers Federation says that threatened the long-term nutritional health of our kids.
What we've seen happen in the past 6 years is not only have kids been consuming less milk in schools, they've even been eating fewer school meals overall because they haven't had that low-fat flavored milk to go with the foods.
Galen says this move will be a really good boost for nutrition in schools.
Coming up next on AgweekTV, in our Soil Health Minute, we'll talk about using a cereal rye cover crop to manage moisture.
The Stockyards Ag Experience tells the story of agriculture, beginning with the Sioux Falls Stockyards. You'll learn about how agriculture impacts our region and the world, and the science and culture that make it all possible. The Stockyards Ag Experience barn features interactive exhibits in a renovated 1880s barn at Falls Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Stockyards Ag Experience showcases agriculture's story from the farm to your table. For more information, call 332-1917 or visit us online at stockyardsagexperience.org.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Adventure awaits at the Farmers Union Camp, presented by the North Dakota Farmers Union. Farmers Union Camp is the perfect place for young campers to develop cooperation, teamwork, and leadership skills. Campers will enjoy theme nights, skits, games, talent shows, and more. Camps are held at Wesley Acres and Hart Butte in June, July, and August. Register by May 15th to get $25 off your camp fee. For camp dates and more information, visit us at ndfu.org or call 800-366-8331.
Located in the heart of the Red River Valley, Bloomfield Enterprises sells the finest trailers and farm equipment in the business. Family owned and operated since 1997, Bloomfield Enterprises is your place for BBI spreaders and accessories. We pride ourselves on carrying a wide variety of inventory for our customers to choose from. With a full-service shop and repair center, we are committed to taking care of our customers before and after the sale. Whether you're in the market for a new trailer or quality farm equipment, we have just what you're looking for. Call us today or visit us online at bloomfieldenterprises.com.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Excess water in fields during planting can be challenging for getting the crop in the ground. In our Soil Health Minute, NDSU Soil Health Specialist Abby Wick shows how some farmers are using cover crops to help during planting.
We're down in southeastern North Dakota, looking at high clay fields and talking about water management. The two fields we're going to look at today, one has been no-till for 3 years and has a cereal rye cover crop on it, and the other field we're looking at would have been ripped in the fall, chisel plowed, and then field cultivated this spring. A couple days ago, they got about 2 inches of rain. What I want to look at today is the moisture content in the soils. I've brought my moisture meter with me today so we can look at how saturated the soils are at depth and how much these different management practices are drying the soils out. Here at about 2 inches down, we have about 15% moisture. If we go down to 4 inches, we're sitting at about 22% moisture, 23%. If we go down to about 6 inches, we're at 25%. So still 30% moisture at 10 inches, and let's go all the way down to 12 inches. And we're just at 35% moisture down at 12 inches in this soil, which means the rye plant is drying that soil out. You can see all of these roots are reaching down into the soil and removing water and transpiring it through the plant. So it's just one more way to get water out of the soil and get equipment on the field a little faster. So now we're in the neighboring field that has pretty typical management for the area. In this field, we're relying only on evaporation to remove water. We can see at about 2 inches, it's very dry. About 15% at 4 inches. At about 6 inches, we're at about 23%. And just under 6 inches, at probably 7 or 8 inches, we're saturated. You can see it reached 47% and then zeroed out. That means the soil is saturated. As we saw in these two fields, a cereal rye cover crop is an effective tool to managing moisture in the spring.
After a long fight, Congress passed a national biotech food labeling bill last summer. It's in response to a state biotech labeling law in Vermont. Some feared it would affect interstate commerce and increase costs for consumers. It also threatened to stigmatize biotech for farmers. The national rules are set to go into effect in a year, but the USDA is currently writing the rules, and both the farm and food industries are giving their input. Michelle Rook has more.
USDA is in the process of implementing national biotech food labeling. What will this mean for farmers and consumers? The law provides federal preemption, plus
it has a very strong national uniform standard for a bioengineered food. And then lastly, it gives food companies options, either using a QR code or on-pack labeling.
In fact, 5,000 products already use QR codes or smart labels, and that will jump to 34,000 by year end.
We're for mandatory disclosure. We just think digital is the best way to do it because you can provide more information through smart label than can ever fit on a package label.
It also allows companies to continually change information, and that transparency minimizes the stigma about biotechnology.
FDA, the American Medical Association, and many other groups find it safe is all information that's important, and you have to overcome fear with information.
Plus, meat and milk from livestock-fed biotech crops won't be labeled as GMO, which is positive for livestock producers.
So clearly, we've argued all along the feed should not dictate what the final product is.
So once implemented, biotech labeling will be a win for everyone.
I think what we're going to end up with is something that is going to be good for consumers, and it's also going to protect this very, very important technology for farmers.
I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Week.
The proposed rule is expected by the end of this year, followed by a comment period and final rule before the July 2018 deadline. Will the weather finally cooperate for planting? Your AgriWeather forecast is next. And later, we'll meet a young teacher who says there's no place like home for starting an ag education program.
Introducing the new Challenger 1000 series, tractors unlike any other manufactured by AGCO. Redefining what a wheel tractor is capable of when it comes to wheel slip, power to ground, and fuel economy. Today, it's not enough just to be tough. You've got to be smarter than everyone else, too. Contact your Challenger dealer today to get in the seat of the new Challenger 1000. Superior engineering, superior performance, superior productivity. The next generation of tractors from your Challenger dealer.
The North Dakota Soybean Council invests checkoff dollars to increase soybean demand, increase yields, and open new markets. The soybean checkoff has resulted in stronger prices and higher yielding varieties. Checkoff dollars fund research to bring solutions to farmers' greatest production challenges. Global demand for North Dakota soybeans for human consumption, animal feed, and commercial use has never been greater. Checkoff dollars, investing in a profitable future for North Dakota soybean farmers.
Adventure awaits at the Farmers Union Camp, presented by the North Dakota Farmers Union. Farmers Union Camp is the perfect place for young campers to develop cooperation, teamwork, and leadership skills. Campers will enjoy theme nights, skits, games, talent shows, and more. Camps are held at Wesley Acres and Hart Butte in June, July, and August. Register by May 15th to get $25 off your camp fee. For camp dates and more information, visit us at ndfu.org or call 800-366-8331.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
The window of opportunity in farming is short. Make sure your Case IH equipment is ready to make the most of it by using only genuine Case IH replacement parts from Titan Machinery. Only original Case IH parts are engineered for maximum life and performance in your equipment. Don't take chances with off-brand parts that may fail when you need your equipment the most. Contact your local Titan Machinery dealership and find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value for your farming operation.
The jet stream pattern this week is evolving into a high amplitude weather pattern. Now we'll see this from time to time. This is not, I don't want to set this up like it's some kind of a freak thing. It's most common in the springtime, but it hasn't really happened to this magnitude in several years. High amplitude, by that I mean the jet stream goes way up north, way down south, way up north, way down south, and in this case it actually continues like that. Each one of these W shapes is known as an omega block, and the block is key because that means that the pattern tends to be fairly slow to change. There'll be subtle variations, but not great ones. But this pattern is a little different than just a standard omega block. First of all, let's take it through this week. It will meander a little bit, but it won't really change positions all that much. And underneath this area where the jet goes up north, we get very warm and dry conditions. Where the jet goes south, we get very cool and wet. So we're going to have a big difference this week between the Great Lakes and the northern high plains. You want to see it again? Let's go back into the present and put it forward. We're not seeing any great changes here. We're just seeing some subtle slippages around North America. The interesting thing about this pattern, though, is that this time, it's not just over North America where it's like this, but it's really like this around the entire globe. Take a look. The jet stream is high amplitude out across the Atlantic, and then there's another big wavy pattern over Europe. Asia has the same thing, and the Pacific Ocean. It's a worldwide weather pattern, and it looks like the way it's setting up, it may be this way for a while. So wherever these ridges show up and stay, it's likely to be warm and dry for some time. Wherever it looks like this, it's likely to be cool and wet. But subtle differences can make a big change. Well, this week, let's take a look at how that impacts our weather. Fairly warm, in fact, in some cases hot, 80s and 90s will be building up into the plain states. It'll be cool in the Northeast and in the Pacific Northwest the next several days. And of course, as this jet stream meanders a little bit, some parts of the upper Midwest and northern plains may cool off a bit, but probably not permanently. With the presence of this ridge here, there's always going to be the location and placement of some warm temperatures nearby. What does that mean for the precipitation? Well, generally speaking, there isn't going to be a lot. We'll see a few offshoots come across the Pacific, shoot across the northern plains, probably not doing much more than making some showers, and then we'll eventually see wet weather set up and take up residence in the Northeast and in the Pacific Northwest. And the middle likely won't have a whole lot of precipitation. As we look ahead to the second week, the warm, dry weather will likely persist through the middle part of May throughout the northern plains and upper Midwest, while the Great Lakes are more cool and wet, and the difference will make all the difference in the world. So warm weather, dry weather will likely continue, which is great for planners.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
The Stockyards Ag Experience tells the story of agriculture, beginning with the Sioux Falls Stockyards. You'll learn about how agriculture impacts our region and the world, and the science and culture that make it all possible. The Stockyards Ag Experience Barn features interactive exhibits in a renovated 1880s barn at Falls Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Stockyards Ag Experience showcases agriculture's story from the farm to your table. For more information, call 332-1917 or visit us online at stockyardsagexperience.org. Located in the heart of the Red River Valley, Bloomfield Enterprises sells the finest trailers and farm equipment in the business. Family owned and operated since 1997, Bloomfield Enterprises is your place for BBI spreaders and accessories. We pride ourselves on carrying a wide variety of inventory for our customers to choose from. With a full-service shop and repair center, we are committed to taking care of our customers before and after the sale. Whether you're in the market for a new trailer or quality farm equipment, we have just what you're looking for. Call us today or visit us online at bloomfieldenterprises.com.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
The North Dakota Soybean Council invests checkoff dollars to increase soybean demand, increase yields, and open new markets. The soybean checkoff has resulted in stronger prices and higher yielding varieties. Checkoff dollars fund research to bring solutions to farmers' greatest production challenges. Global demand for North Dakota soybeans for human consumption, animal feed, and commercial use has never been greater. Checkoff dollars, investing in a profitable future for North Dakota soybean farmers.
There's been a shortage of ag education teachers around the region, and that means fewer ag ed programs. But that's not the case in Grafton, North Dakota. A teacher there has come home to start a program for 8th through 12th graders.
We have a very important job today, because you guys remember what tomorrow is. Yeah, tomorrow's Farm Safety Day. It's tomorrow. So today's agenda is to put your boards back together and maybe re-glue some things and then get ready for tomorrow. I grew up in Grafton and we never had a program here when I was here. It was one of those things that I didn't know existed. So when I did find out about it in college, I was like, dang, I would have been really good at that. So I was really happy to bring the opportunity back to Grafton.
We couldn't find an ag teacher for the last few years, and we were fortunate enough to have one of our own graduating with an ag ed degree.
I'm really lucky that Mike, as well as the Grafton Public Super, was willing to kind of take a gamble on me. It's going to be awesome.
She's phenomenal, and I really had no doubts that it was going to be successful.
This is going to sound weird. I don't like teaching. I don't like to stand up in front and teach. I like to put the learning in their hands and do a lot of projects, because I feel like if they're in charge of it, they'll take more away from it instead of me standing up there like Charlie Brown. You want to try and kind of guide them to the answers?
She's one of those calm, cool teachers who's you can build a relationship with right away.
Pretty fun being in her class to know her. She's really nice. She's a good teacher.
I foresee myself being here for a long time. So I want to expand the room, and if we're going to get real crazy, I would like to have a barn with live animals in it. I want to have a test plot so the kids can get out there and plant gardens and crops. The sky is the limit, especially with a class like this where it is so diverse. Who knows where it will go.
Still ahead on AgweekTV, an old farm building made of dirt takes its place in history as experts work to preserve it.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
The window of opportunity in farming is short. Make sure your Case IH equipment is ready to make the most of it by using only genuine Case IH replacement parts from Titan Machinery. Only original Case IH parts are engineered for maximum life and performance in your equipment. Don't take chances with off-brand parts that may fail when you need your equipment the most. Contact your local Titan Machinery dealership and find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value for your farming operation.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Introducing the new Challenger 1000 series, tractors unlike any other manufactured by AGCO. Redefining what a wheel tractor is capable of when it comes to wheel slip, power to ground, and fuel economy. Today, it's not enough just to be tough. You've got to be smarter than everyone else, too. Contact your Challenger dealer today to get in the seat of the new Challenger 1000. Superior engineering, superior performance, superior productivity. The next generation of tractors from your Challenger dealer.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
An old farm building made of dirt on the SDSU campus in Brookings is the subject of preservation efforts. It's called rammed earth and became popular in the 1920s and 30s. Builders mix soil with water and cement or fly ash and tamp it between forms. It makes a sturdy and sustainable building material. One of the original buildings is still on campus, and the South Dakota Ag Heritage Museum brought in an expert to help preserve it. Dr. Steve Burrows is an Australian architectural professor. He says these buildings are good for poultry because the earth walls allow the buildings to breathe, making them cooler and less humid. It fell out of favor in the U.S. in the 1950s, but it's still a popular building material around the world, especially in remote areas, because it's very sustainable and thermodynamic.
If I was to take a cubic foot of material that we rammed, and I was to take a cubic foot of concrete, that concrete requires 1,500 times more energy than the earth material that we use. So if you're into sustainability, if you're concerned about the environment, we could build it with earth and certainly produce less CO2s if you're interested in that type of thing.
The building is on the National Register for Historic Places. The museum hopes to use it as an outdoor education space. This week's Photo of the Week features Agweek's own Jonathan Knutson. John was recently named National Vice President of the North American Ag Journalists during the group's convention in Washington, D.C. On his trip, he visited the U.S. Senate and was in the gallery during Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue's confirmation. Jonathan takes over as president of the NAAJ next year. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you next week.